Welcome, everyone. Today is Monday, April 22nd. It is 11 a.m. This is a meeting of the Board of Selectmen. Is there a motion to call the meeting to order?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
This meeting is being audio and video recorded. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, gentlemen. The first order of business is to try to clean up some of the easier budgets that the Board of Selectmen have under their jurisdiction for fiscal year 24 to 25. I'm gonna run right through them real quick. Finance Committee, flat, motion to approve.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Reserve Fund, flat, 150, motion to approve.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Town Moderator, flat, 875, motion to approve.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Legal Services, 107, flat, motion to approve.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Soil Board, 21.5, flat, motion to approve.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Mr. Kelly, you did I noticed inside the new warrant, I briefly looked at that and peeked into it. It looks like you're doing a revolving fund for soil. Okay.
We did it last year, we're continuing it.
Oh, it wasn't last year, but wasn't put in the new warrant until recently? Okay, boss. All right. Motion to approve. Appeals Board, flat, 6,150, motion to approve.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Miscellaneous, flat, 13.5, motion to approve.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Seals and weights and measures, flat, 1169, motion to
So
approve.
moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Forestry, 24,500, it is up $5,500. The reason being is we have a lot more dead trees on the side of the road that a lot of residents are complaining about, so we can get a couple of more days for the tree warden to get out and tree trim. Motion to approve.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Snow and ice, flat, $110,000. Motion to approve.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Cemetery, $6,789, flat. Motion to approve.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
CMAS, $1,322,612. It is up $71,826 due to a contractual fuel surcharge of $3,000 a month. It is inside that contract to have that fuel surcharge if prices get up to a certain price, which they have escalated. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Veteran Services, flat, 217, motion to approve.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Recreation, $25,225, it's up $2,375 due to energy, motion to approve.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Park Department is flat at $49,967, motion to approve.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Historical Commission is $9,160. It's up $1,360 due to energy. Motion to approve.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Cable receipts reserved. It's not taxation. It is flat, up $50,000 technically, but flat. It keeps the budget flat, but we added a $50,000 reserve fund similar to other enterprise funds. Mr. Kelly and I had a conversation about that. If you know what hit the fan, the servers went down and we had an extraordinary expense, we wouldn't be able to cover it with what's left into supply line items. So is there a motion to approve at $240,000 for the cable reserve receipt account?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Regional is flat, $3,748. Actually, it's up $55, but motion to approve.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And that does it for what we've gone through. We've trying to take care of all the, what I would call simpler budgets. We're waiting to get some more information on further budgets, gentlemen. There'll be some conversation around that. At our next meeting will be derived, basically what this meeting's doing is budgets. Mr. Kelly's gonna get, I believe, out to print for May 6th, the latest.
That's correct.
So we're gonna do our best in our next meeting on April 30th, Tuesday, to get through. It'll take much longer to look at certain cuts in certain departments. The bigger budgets are pretty much the only ones that you have room to do some trimming, to do our part and try to get us down. As you know, we do have a big increase in public safety from contract negotiations, but it is what it is. We have to serve our community when it comes to public safety, so we will look at every budget and figure out what we can do to bring Mr. Kelly in the town before we, in fact, FinCom, before we get to town meeting, with a budget that's more normalized as previous years, which is roughly roughly 1.2 overall, which will be a tremendous task moving forward, but we need to do what we need to do. Right now, the budget's well over $1 million in deficit, so with the figures that we're currently given from the town. Mr. Kelly, do you have anything to say on the budgets outside of what was just been discussed?
I'd say half of the budgets that haven't been discussed, there are minor changes in them, not major changes. We've cut seriously in a number of those. There are some larger budgets that we're going to have to definitely look at line by line.
Agree. All right, anything on the warrant?
On the warrant, everything in front of you in the book is the same as before. It's just I've changed the order. Now that you've approved these budgets, I'll input them in, and that will start the process. I think just setting some amounts in some of the funding articles for the collective bargaining, and once we do that, then most of the free cash articles you've already seen. So I think we're ahead of the game, but behind the 8 ball.
Correct. Right now, we couldn't go, I'm not extremely confident in going to town meeting at this point. We're gonna have to see what we can do over the next week. And if we have to do another special meeting prior to May 6th to give them, to hardline some of these other numbers, I'm hoping to get all of this done April 30th, by Tuesday, April 30th. I know the schools said something about their meeting on May 1st to vote a budget, whatever that means to the town, I don't know. Mr. Kelly?
If we need a special meeting after Tuesday, it will have to be on Thursday.
That's fine, we'll figure it out on that. The only thing I do want to add is we've had, I thought, was great dialogue with Old Colony. Mr. Polanski came in, Sarah Griffith, the business administrator, came in, and Shirley Burke, one of the budget subcommittee members, came in. She's been around Old Colony for a long time. I remember being FinCom's liaison from 2005 to 10, and she was part of that dialogue back then. So thank you to all 3 of those folks, and I did reach out to Mr. Polanski and thanked him for the follow-up meeting. I thought it was very informational, not only for the Board of Selectmen, myself, and for the residents, but we talked about the lease that they have. I know they have some debt, but they didn't know what they were doing with that, but they did talk about a lease, and it was probably somewhere around that 135-ish mark.
140, yep.
Somewhere around there, in order for us to reduce the budget from Old Colony. That lease comes off this year. We don't need any input from any other municipalities. I think we take a leadership role in that, and we say we need an article in the warrant to subsidize that increase.
No, you can do it in the motion on the budget.
Okay. To take money from,
Yeah, it's just a separate funding source.
correct. I want to reduce
You can
the
do it.
deficit, and that's how we're reducing deficit, right?
Yep.
It's a big chunk. It gives this board some flexibility to bring down that 1 million some odd deficit that we're sitting at right now. It's basically 10%
It's a,
that we can knock off, so we need to figure out that funding source, so we change that budget, right?
Well, you leave the budget alone, you bring in a separate one-time funding source.
However you wanna skin the cat, there's multiple ways, right?
Yep.
So I'm fine with however we're gonna do it, I just wanna relieve the deficit, right? And that's how we're gonna be able to do that. So either you can reach out to Mr. Polanski or Sarah and find out what that actual number is, or we'll play a guesstimate game, right?
Usually, I'm pulling rabbits out of the hat. Congratulations, you pulled a big rabbit out of the hat.
I'm trying to demonstrate to the taxpayers and residents of Acushnet that this board is taking the budget seriously. I think that's what we're trying to demonstrate now, in the warrant seriously, and figure out how we're not gonna be exceeding our spending levels that we have in the past, right? To hold down that level of taxation, because the more you spend, it might look good this year that say, oh, we solved the problem, but you ain't really solving a problem if you're spending an exceeding number from what you've done over the past years, because next year is when it's gonna come back to haunt all of us taxpayers. Whatever we spend this year, you need to raise next year in taxation, and that's the point for everybody at home to get. You better be careful on how much we're spending, because that's what results in taxation the following year to raise, right? And that's what we're trying to avoid. So we can look good by saying we have a balanced budget, but how much are we spending, right?
And that's why the motion on the budget itself is important, because it segregates taxation from all other sources of revenue.
Correct. So we'll figure that out for Old Colony, right?
Yeah.
However, we're gonna get that done. Gentlemen, I don't know if you have any other questions, comments, concerns?
Yeah, while we're on the issue of creative financing, last year I had talked about retiring the debt of the school debt exclusion from 20 years ago. I'd like to revisit that again. I don't know if there's an opportunity to do that either at this town meeting or in the fall, but at least keep that concept on the table.
100%.
If it's not this meeting, we can do it another one.
We'll have to look, I forget what the exact number is that we carry for the school debt. It's a pretty big nut.
Yeah.
Couple hundred anyway, isn't it?
100.
Is it 100 and something?
Yeah.
And I have the debt paperwork, I apologize, I didn't know that. But anyways, we talked about it before, and I agree 100%, anytime we can get rid of certain debt, it would be great. Is that debt? School refunding. So, about 100 grand, pretty much spot on. And it expires when, do you know? I think it's 2027, isn't it?
No, that's the roof, right? The roof we have to change by then.
No, that's not what he's talking, no, that's the band down below. There's a
Yeah.
different construction right here.
Yes, the debt exclusion. I think that's 25 or 26.
That's what, this says. It just says a due date. I'll look at my paperwork. I thought it was 27, but neither here or there. Maybe that's the golf course. Neither here or there.
Golf
fig-
course is
we'll-
27.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. But I agree with Selectmen loan 100%. We can get that off. It would be great. And the band, we already talked about that for the solar.
Right.
And then getting creative. Do you have any knowledge of, I know Selectmen won't also discuss the meals tax. Any way we can
It wouldn't.
pull a number so that we have an idea when we get to town meeting, we can let people know what it really means?
It's approximately
I
100,000,
was gonna say, it's gonna be somewhere there.
but it wouldn't affect this year.
Totally understood. Totally understood. But at the rate we're going, we need to.
We need to look 3 years in advance.
You know,
Even though.
great leaders never just look at today, right? They look at, they have to look forward, and it's not forward by a week or two, right? Especially when you're in this kind of a business, you gotta be projecting out 3 to 5 years at least, right?
Yeah, well, usually government's future planning is, what am I gonna have for lunch tomorrow?
Yep, but that's not my forte, but anyway, so, all right, I've addressed the Old Colony, I said article, but if there's a different way to skin that cat. Mr. Hinckley, nothing else for warrant or budget discussions?
No, sir.
All right, with no other open business to be conducted, we have an executive session on the general law, chapter 38, subsection 21A3, to discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining or litigation, ASME, MOA. If an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the bargaining or litigating position of the public body, and the chair so declares, and the board will not return to public session at the conclusion of the executive session. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Roll call vote, Mr. Hinckley?
Yes.
Mr. Warner?
Yes.
And I am a yes. We are now in executive session. Thank you.